All right, Coach Harris. My business contact couldn't do it tonight. He went out of town this weekend, so I'm doing this with my dad over business strategy, Mr. Gandy. What was the company you ran?
The name of the company I ran was a company called Precision Biomedical.
All right, what was your main business strategy?
Our main business strategy is we sold heart catheters to all the hospitals in north central Texas and all of Oklahoma.
All right, so how big was the market that you sold to?
It was about a $10 million market when we ceased operations of the company in 2010. It was about a $10 million market for that heart catheter product.
All right. Did you ever change your business strategy in order to achieve more growth?
Yes, we did. We used to sell our product on some features and benefits that they had ahead of the competitors. But then we realized that a lot of these hospitals started incurring infections from these heart catheters. So we changed our strategy in probably year 2000 to market our product. One of the products came out and it had an anti-infection, antimicrobial agent that would release and that would cut down on catheter infections. And so we switched our strategy from a catheter that was non-treated to a catheter that was treated, and that way we had the leg up on the competition because they did not have that type of product.
All right. How do you show your products to new hospitals?
Well, whenever there would be a new hospital opening, doctors would go from one hospital to the next. So typically surgeons and anesthesiologists would work at more than one hospital. So when a new hospital was opening, we would contact the physicians that we knew were going to one of the older hospitals and ask them for permission to show their product at the new hospital they were going to. So we already knew which physicians would use these products, and we knew which physicians would be going to these hospitals because they worked at older hospitals that were already in business. So we would show the new hospital the product through physicians that we'd already been dealing with.
So you're kind of one step ahead of the competition?
Well, the competition was probably using the same strategy, but since our product was kind of the premier heart catheter, we were able to stay ahead of the competition just because of the features and benefits of our catheter was just better than the competition's.
Yeah, okay. How do you implement your strategy at the ground floor? Just by sales reps or more?
Yeah, mainly by sales reps. Like on the ground floor, that I think that implies where would you start at the hospital on the ground floor, and that would be in purchasing. And you'd go to we had 7 sales reps, and each rep had 50 to 100 hospitals. And so the reps they'd go into a hospital and they make an appointment with purchasing, and they'd tell them a little bit about their product. But it took more than that. That was kind of the ground floor approach. And then from there, you actually had to track down the physicians that would use these products. So, it started at the ground floor in purchasing, but it ended by making presentations to the doctors that would actually use these products.
Okay, great. Did you ever use the localization strategy to increase the value of your product?
I would say, yes, in that even though infections were, or these catheter infections was a nationwide issue, we found out locally which hospitals were incurring infections, and we would cite examples to the market and to the doctors that locally there was a problem. If you didn't do that, if you said, well, there's a national issue, it didn't hit home as well, because the doctors might assume, well, that's a problem up north, or that's a problem in the east or the west, but it's not really a problem here. So you had to use the local strategy and say, hospital XYZ across town is incurring a lot of central line infections. These are called central lines, these heart catheters. And we want to prevent your hospital from running into that problem. So that's why we were talking to you about this product and trying to encourage you to use this product in your hospital.
So you kind of showed how you cared about the people you cared about your product and trying to fix it for the hospitals themselves.
Oh yeah, I mean this. When a patient would get an infection, 30 to 50% of the patients would die because of the infection. So we cared a lot about the end result of the death of a patient, and we could show that how a treated catheter with this anti-infection agent on it would cut down on the infections, and therefore there would be less deaths and morbidity of the patients.
All right, great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.